Hi and welcome to the channel. I'm Steven from Accessory Photos. Today I have a camera accessory review, a really cheap accessory which after using it for about 3 years I couldn't live without it. It is that important to me. Yeah, this thing right here, which I don't even know what it is called. Is this a dolly robot or a dolly track wheel? Yeah, I'll just call it a dolly robot. A $45 accessory at the time I purchased it 2 or 3 years ago because I needed this accessory to film, to dolly around products, figurines which I review in my other channel, Accessory Studio. And having used this for so long, this is not necessarily the most user-friendly accessory, but I would say that it is so important to me that I am considering buying another one as a spare just to keep it in my studio in case, this thing breaks down or something like that, and then I have a spare lying around since this is under $50. Though by today, if this went up to $60, $70 because of inflation, I would still buy it. Okay, so this specific accessory over here, the one I'm holding, this is the Enduo L4 Pro. And if you head over to Amazon US right now, for example, or B&H Photos, for those of you in the US, this product might not exist at all because of regional naming. Samyang lenses, they are called Samyang in Asia, but over in the US, they are rebranded as Rokinon. The same thing applies to many Chinese accessories out there, and this kind of accessories is one of them. It might be going by some other name, so you need to be creative in your searching. Regardless of what brand it is, if you are making videos, this is a must-have if you can accept the weaknesses of something like this, right? This is almost disposable given the asking price. It is actually quite loud when in use, but I won't be using the audio part of my product videos anyway, so it does not matter to me at all. When you take it out from the box, it is this tiny, and then you have this accessory over here, which you get 1x4" or 3x8" threads. You can choose between the two, both are available. And for my specific model over here, it comes with a micro USB port, which is like Stone Age stuff. I believe that the newer models today comes with USB Type-C, and I always prefer USB Type-C because micro USB breaks very easily. And on one single charge, it lasts me for really long. I did not really keep track on how many hours I used it, but on average, I am filming products like 3 times a week, 2 to 3 times a week, and I only need to charge this thing once a month. Here is a sample video footage taken with this dolly robot, and as you can see, it is really smooth, but there is a catch. The first thing is that, of course, ideally you'll want to use this with a camera that has IBIS, in-body image stabilization, and even better if the lens you're using has optical stabilization. So you are kind of combining all of these, and then after that in post, in editing, improve things further with digital stabilization where you crop in ever so slightly. So if you are filming in 4K and then you export in 1080p, then you have a lot of room to stabilize in digital. And you need to remember the footages I just showed you guys. This is taken with a 105mm macro. And at this focal length 100+mm, every single micro movement, every single jitter or vibration is very noticeable. If you film at wider angles, 24, 28mm, then camera movements are less noticeable, but I am someone who films at 40mm and up to macro 105. And given the kind of smooth footage I was able to get when I combined with optical stabilization and digital ones, I would say this thing lived up to my expectation when it comes to delivering smooth dolly video footages. Well, as long you know and understand the limitations of this thing, what it can and cannot do. The first limitation is that you need a very smooth table surface. Even if you have a wooden table, for example, if your table is the very fancy kind with a rough wooden texture, yeah, it might reflect in your videos where your video footage is jiggling around, shaking around. I can't even use this dolly robot on the floor in my studio because my flooring is full of tiles, and each time the dolly robot runs over this gap between two floor tiles, you will see the video footage shake ever so slightly and then back to steady and then shake ever so slightly again. So it is not really usable. You really need a 100% smooth surface, which I do have a separate filming station for that, so it works for me. The next limitation is that there is a limit to the size of the products you can film with this thing. The object or the product should not be too tall or too short. For me, I'm estimating the size of the objects you are filming to be between 8 to 12 inches being ideal. Same thing for my figurines, because anything that is too tall, this dolly robot is not tall enough when you install a tripod ball head over here. So you can't exactly stack an additional ball head on top, because when the whole setup is too tall, it becomes unstable, the weight distribution is unbalanced, and you will also get shaky footage. However, I have came up with an alternative solution, a workaround for filming anything that is taller than 12 or 13 inches, and that is to use a child desk. Yeah, this moon-shaped desk over here I have in my studio. I can just put my dolly robot on the surface and it will follow the shape of the desk, dollying around 360 degrees, more like 120 degrees, around a very tall subject, because I wanted to film the face of the figurine, for example. So I just need to increase the height of the platform where I'm using this dolly robot over here. So this is something you might want to think about purchasing a child desk. Even more so, something with this kind of moon shape, because I think it is very suitable for filming taller objects. However, the one mistake I did was to buy this desk in yellow color because of the color scheme of my studio, gray and yellow. So I bought a yellow desk, which is a really bad idea because the yellow color paint will reflect my studio lights, and then there will be a warm cast on the products I am filming, which I need to correct in post later on. So if you are buying a desk like this to use a dolly robot, buy one that is in neutral color, black, gray or white color. The third weakness of this dolly robot, and arguably the most annoying one in my opinion, is that you don't know how much to bend these wheels over here, because each time you film a product of a different size or you use a different focal length, the distance between your camera and the subject you are filming, they will be different. All of these are the variables you need to consider, and each time any one of these variables change, yeah, you need to readjust the angulation of the wheels over here. Otherwise, the subject that you are filming, it won't be centered, or maybe at the 2/3 if that is what you prefer. So it is like the subject will move from the right to the left or the other way around because the angulation is incorrect. You can't keep the subject centered. And sometimes you need 3 or 5 different takes readjusting the wheels several times to get what you want. So it can get a bit annoying. I really wish that there is some kind of electric motor being built into the wheels over here, these two wheels, so that it can maintain symmetry. For example, if I were to bend this wheel by 45 degrees, the other wheel will also move by itself to 45 degrees. The whole thing is symmetrical, and that will make my work so much easier. But at the same time, this sounds really expensive. It sounds like something you would find in a $300 accessory, not $50. Yeah. So this is more of give and take given a budget price point, but I still wish something like this exists. And if it does, let me know down in the comments below. Why would I buy something so cumbersome to use? Why wouldn't I buy a $10 electronic turntable where I can easily showcase a product a full 360 degrees and spend even less money? I have been asked this question before actually, and my answer was extremely simple. Any video footage filmed with camera movement looks way better than a static scene. Yeah, so with turntables, the subject, the figurine I am filming is spinning, but the camera is static. Meanwhile, with a dolly robot, the camera itself is moving, rotating around, spinning around the main subject in the middle, and it makes the video footage appear a lot more dynamic and more pleasing to look at. So there is this aesthetic factor associated with camera movements. The same thing can be said in filmmaking, which I am not a pro in. Despite having to waste a bit more time figuring out the angles when I'm using this thing, I still prefer to use this accessory over here over a turntable, and that is my reason. So at the end of today's review, can I recommend a dolly robot like this in general? I would say this is a must-have for any content creator making content for YouTube, and even more so if you are filming products for reviews. If you found this review helpful or informative, please give this video a like and subscribe to this channel for more photography and gear review content. Until then, I'll see you guys again very soon. Thanks for watching and goodbye.